I'll start. We had a pretty good week last week. I went pretty much all cash Friday, except I kept some of this AVDR, but that's where I'll start. AVDR, we've been really watching this one develop, this earnings flag at highs with the accelerating sales and everything we love about a trade. So this one gave us a really clean breakout. I sold a lot, mostly all into strength Friday. So that was a good one. What else did I have? I only had 4 trades last week. Oh, it was the Twilio short, the Vive short. Oh, and then I traded the hell out of this Yeti. It doesn't look like much on the daily, but my intraday trading was really good with it. I'll show you when I edit it and all that. But pretty much, you see, last Thursday we tried to push up through that 31, that moving average. Mm-hmm. When it wasn't able to do that, something I did really well was I kind of just accepted that for the rest of the week that might be the high, and I took profit into the next kind of strength it gave me. But these were much more day trades and quick trading. So I wouldn't expect the average trader to do really well in this name. Didn't really do much last week. Mm-hmm. But AVDR, Twilio, and Vive, some good ones. But that's really all I got. I kept it pretty tight last week. What about you?
Nice. So I had we had 2 of like the bigger pictures with this OKE. We caught this nice gap over this Saudi Aramco news. One of the guys, I think it was Brian, asked me today, he's like, why'd you up your stop tighter than prior? We bought 72 at a break-even stop, which is kind of letting it go because all-time highs. But we saw this gap up today, and then when you typed up, VDE, if you typed up Chevron or Exxon, a lot of these other oil names today, a lot of them were gapping up, but then filling into the gap. So you weren't getting like that gap to go, other than this HES, which was up.
Right.
That was one of the. Yep.
Can I chime in? So I had a lot of guys because we were talking about the Saudi Aramco news this morning. We should mention it quick. Pretty much their supply got crazy drone strike overnight. Maybe the biggest overnight oil news we've seen in the last decade or two. It's up 18% overnight. So all these names that were these big picture setups, they're giving these huge gap ups. And yes, absolutely stick with your winners. But when we're looking at these things from a few day trade wise, it's going to need to digest this move heavily. So coming into today, looking to take profit into this huge gap up is the right move to me for a good portion of your stock, because the time it's going to need to flag out and continue going is, it's going to need to pull back a decent amount first. So it's like, while you have the strength here, while you have this huge gap up, it makes so much sense to take profit into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what it was. Like looking through all these energy names, other than really Hess, which broke out, beautifully, all the other ones were pulling into the gap. So it was like for this OK, it's like we were given kind of this layup where I was like, and it's a doji at highs. I'm like, I'd rather just take it than, start marrying it and wanting to give it all this room. So that was one of the things. The other one, WDC, was a big picture idea from about 2-3 weeks back. Same thing. We started to retest highs last week, and I started to just up stop. So I had like a 63.89 stop, and got stopped out this morning. But that was like a solid 10% trade. Let's see what else. I had one pretty good bad trade that other guys in the chat murdered, which was this Raytheon. So we bought it through 188 on, this was September 6th, about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know.
So my mess up here was, and again, I always look at the daily chart, but I was zoomed in too much, where bought 188, it ran into 192, it started to pull back, and I was like, I'd rather take the few bucks versus giving it back to break even. And this is kind of like a problem or issue that I've been working on, where it's either I give it back to break even and I get stopped out, and then it can go, or I can take a little bit of money and up the stop, but then I might miss the move. And this was a perfect example where instead of just having that break even stop, I upped it a little bit, so I made $2-3, really nothing significant, but then it really runs, and it's up 15 points higher. So that was like, someone mentioned, I think it was Drew today, for DFS, and he's like, I had my stop 82.30 something when our stop was break even below 82. And that was, I saw like a similar example where it's like, for Raytheon, my stop should have been just break even, as I always did. But the fact that I tried to get cute and take a couple dollars off the table versus just break even, I missed this bigger trade. And that's what I kind of saw with Drew mentioning it today. I hit him up privately. I was like, yo, just leave it break even instead of being cheap and trying to get the couple pennies. Just give it the right room. And that was like, just watch this Raytheon run every day. I was like, God damn it, how did I make 2 points when this thing went 15? So that was probably my worst trade. just from an execution standpoint. And the other ones, the WDC and OK were just trailing. That was really it. There was one other one was WBA. Again, definitely a name that you would buy. Just kind of a staple, named Walgreens. I bought it up through 52, just trailed it. It got into that gap fill, like through that 56, 58 area. And it just had a monster 6-point move in like 3 days. So I just had a $57 stop and got stopped out. So it was just, it was a quick, move. Not really like bread and butter because it wasn't necessarily top right. Those were most of the trades that I took. And then again, for this week, what did I have? I'm looking at